One thing that happens in the learning process is teaching students how to control all the information that is coming to them. So they are often given notes in class, notes from textbooks, worksheets, old papers, quizzes, group work, and it's hard for the brain to make sense of what it wants to do with all this information and how it all fits together. So this is why I have students use a graphic organizer. Students have often seen these before. Individual teachers will give them, they often have bubbles all over, but this is a way that students can use a graphic organizer across multiple subjects. So I like to teach students that you can use this type of graphic organizer with some changes as you see fit for the subject, but it helps them to put everything together. And one other thing about graphic organizers that studies have shown is that it's not only very beneficial for the brain to do stuff like this, but we need to teach students how to do it themselves. So it can't just be individual teachers making specific graphic organizers for a subject. We need to give students something that they can apply and transform depending on what they need. So this is what this graphic organizer is set up to do. So we have the term. This goes through all the steps that they'll need. So we have terms or concepts. I want them to define or describe in their own words and then to apply it in this column. So in this column they can do a learning strategy. You can see there's a couple on the template. And this really helps the brain go from very concrete to more abstract and back and forth. So it's a great way for students to put together all of their materials. So sometimes terms are defined in multiple places, but then they start to see this, right? Like you have mitosis, and it looks a little bit different on your notes versus your homework, so then the brain really needs to put it together. And it's a great way for students to learn how their teachers are trying to help them learn. So one thing that I like to do with students is I tell them they don't have to do this all in one chunk. That would be very overwhelming. So I suggest that students space out their repetition. So they do terms. This is what I did with a student yesterday. She just did the terms. And then today she's going to do the define and the definitions and the descriptions. And then tomorrow she's going to do the application so that she's really building up for her test. And this works really well, especially to help students learn how to plan backwards, because it is a very incremental way of cohesively putting the material together. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks.